Supplemental math videos from Circle Christian School. Writing the equation of a line. There are times that you are given maybe 2 points and you have to find the equation, or maybe you're just given some facts about the slope and the point that the line's going to go through. This is what we call making an equation of a line. I call it making a cupcake from scratch. So get out your mixing bowls and all of your ingredients. Remember to label, 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 and let's make cake. Okay, this is going to be example 3 out of the geometry book. Finding the equation of a line. When we're looking for an equation of a line, what we're looking for is the y equals mx plus b. Allows us to be where we need 2 things. We need a point and we need a slope. Well, fortunately we have 2 points here, so we can pick either one. I'm just going to write both of them down. So we have 3, 0, and we have 0, negative 4. As always, remember to label, label, label. So this is going to be my first point. So we'll call that x1, y1. And my second point, x2, y2. And the other thing we need is a slope. And you'll notice that we don't have a slope. And honestly, there's 2 ways to go and get this. We can do it by the math, using the slope formula, the minus sign over the minus sign, what I call the delta y over the delta x, that is the change in the y's over the change of the x. So I'm going to plug those in, y2 minus the 4, it's all about formulas here, and a 0, and then I'm going to do the x's, 0, and then the 3. And we're just going to do the math, and we see that we get a negative 4 over a negative 3, which equals 4 over 3. Twin signs means it's positive. So now I have a point and now I have a slope. And because we have a point and a slope, what we're going to use, surprise, surprise, is a point-slope formula. Y minus equals m x minus x1. Okay, now what I did here was make that template. I also made a template when I did the slope formula, the minus sign over the minus sign, the slope formula here. And now I'm going to plug things in. I'm going to plug in my x's, my x and my y, and a slope. So you can pick either point, it doesn't matter. Let's go for something kind of easy peasy. These are nice positive numbers. So we put the x's with the x's and the y's with the y's, and then we plug in the slope, which is 4 over 3. All right, the whole thing here is to get y by itself because we need y equals mx plus b. I like working from left to right, consistently do that. So y minus 0, lucky us, gets already done. We're going to distribute the slope into values here. I call that distributing the milk into the dry ingredients because, of course, we're always making cake. So 4 over 3x. Signs first, math second. I have a positive number, a negative number, so it's going to be negative. And that's going to give us 12 over 3, or you can do the fraction thing, cancel things out. It's going to be a 4. And there's the equation of your line. Now, remember I said that there was actually kind of 2 ways to figure out the slope? When I have the 2 points and I've got it on a coordinate plane here, we can actually figure out what the slope is. Here, we're going up positively 4, and we're going over 3 just by climbing stairs. And remember, it's the change of the y's. It's a positive 4. And we went over 3, the change of the x's. So we could also just look at it in a coordinate plane by going from point to point. So far up and down, so far back and forth. So I can also find the slope that way. But the big thing is what you need is a point and a slope and the point slope formula. Now I'm going to tell you that the rest of this video is actually one of my first earlier ones, and I realized that after listening to it that I get very tongue-tied and I start calling parallel lines perpendicular and perpendicular lines parallel. All the work is correct. My mouth just got kind of funny inside there. So as you watch the rest of it, just realize that sometimes I'm calling parallel perpendicular and perpendicular parallel. Let's find the equation of a parallel and perpendicular line to the equation of 2x minus 3y equals 9 and goes through the particular point of 4, 6. Well, the first thing that we're going to have to find is the point to the equation here. And so we have a point, that's great, which is 4, 6. And again, remember to label x1, y1. And then we're going to have to find a slope, remembering that a parallel slope is going to be the same, and a perpendicular slope is going to be an opposite reciprocal. We're going to have to solve the equation first by getting the y all by itself, and in doing so, we're going to find that the equation is y equals, let's see if I can get it here, y equals a 2 over 3x minus a 3. Very good. That's going to allow us to notice that the slope of something that parallels the same. So it's going to be 2 over 3. And the perpendicular opposite reciprocal is going to be a negative, because the other was positive, 3 over 2. Okay, so now we have our two things for doing this equation here. Now all we have to do is plug it into the factors that we have here. Okay, so putting it into the bowl here, I'm going to have to put in my x and y as my point. And so this is going to be a 6, a positive 6. And we're going to put in, oh, my bad. Oh, and I can't erase it either. So I have to use my whiteout. Here we go. Whiteout, it's always good. My x, see, this is why you label. I went back and looked and saw that I had put the wrong value in. That's like mixing the sugar and the salt and getting too much salt inside my cake. So this is going to be a 4 right here, and this is going to be a 6. Very good. And we're going to put our slope in. First I'm going to do the parallel one. So I'm going to put 2 over 3 here. So we're going to pour everything together and mix it together and solve. So we have y minus the 6 equals, distributing, we get the 2 over 3x minus, signs first, math second, and we're going to have 8 over 3. Oh, a fun fraction. How nice. And then we're just going to get the y by itself again. I'm going to move a little bit to the top of the bowl here, so just keep with me. Y is going to equal the 2/3 x minus the 8 over 3x. And we're going to add the 6. Jump the fence, change the sign. And so our final result in our cake here is going to be y equals 2 over 3x. And 6 is the same thing. We can put it into thirds here as 18 over 3. So minus the 8 is going to give us a positive 10 over 3. And there's the equation of our parallel line. We can do the same thing now by using the parallel slope. And the parallel slope, you remember, was a -3/2. And of course, we still have our point of 4 and 6. And again, I'll label just so I don't get in trouble with my cake getting it to the table. And so we have a -3/2 here. And again, we have the 4. And we have the 6. And we're just going to go solve for everything. Make sure you distribute. That's how we mix our cake up. And I think I'll again move up top. Y minus the 6 equals a -3/2. This part I know you know how to do very well. It's just the mathy part. A negative and a negative with the 4 here is going to give me a positive 12/2, which results in a +6. And we're going to add our 6 to both sides. And so our final equation for the perpendicular line is going to be y equals a -3/2 x plus the 12. And you can always graph them on a graphing calculator to check and see if they look perpendicular. Remember to put it in square format to really see it. And you can do that by using your zoom, zoom, zoom button on your calculator. Zoom. All right, go out and make cake from scratch and take the results and share them with Grandma. She would love to have a cupcake today.